The National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index falling today by a full point, reaching the record low in the 22-year history of that survey. The group also predicting that sales will keep falling through next year. They're blaming lenders, saying it's simply too tough for potential buyers to get a mortgage. Dani Babb, realtor extraordinaire and co-author of the book Finding Foreclosures, joins me now to fill us in on this. Dani, what do you make of that? Is it the lender's fault for not giving out enough mortgages? What's going on?
No, I think this is an awful lot of hypocrisy, actually, since it's these same groups who blame the lenders for being too loose in the past and causing the mortgage crisis to begin with. So I think these people need to make up their minds. It is true that lenders are being a little bit more strict, in some cases a lot more strict, before they lend out money, particularly to entrepreneurs that would have had stated income loans in the past. But this is good for the market in the long term because that's one of the contributing factors to what created the bubble in the first place. So really, the lenders are doing what they need to do to protect consumers in the long run. Do
you see a bottom to this housing market yet? Now, by that I mean prices. Prices have come down a lot. In previously hot markets, they're down 20–30%. Is that the bottom?
Yeah. Well, it's hard to predict a bottom ever in anything. There are certain areas of the region that I'm very optimistic about. I've talked about them on this show before. For example, certain locations in Arizona and in South Florida, certain locations in Nevada. But overall, I think until homeowners, individual homeowners, not home builders here, but the homeowners themselves realize that their homes are not worth what they were 3 or 4 years ago, we're going to continue to see prices drop as home builders try to sell off their inventory and take advantage of buyers willing to buy with sellers not bringing their prices down to market equilibrium.
Now, tomorrow, we're expecting a deal between some in Congress, the Barney Frank wing that's trying to come up with this $300 billion bailout package, and the Treasury. We're expecting a deal to be announced tomorrow. Do you think that deal, and if it goes forward, this legislation, do you think that would help the housing market?
No, I don't. First of all, the only thing that's part of this deal that I read are things that banks are already doing, like forbearances, loan modifications, and short sales. They're doing those already today. And second of all, people seem to forget that when the government starts to regulate these things and put mandates on lenders, that money, that cost gets passed off to someone. In this case, who? Probably the consumer. The same very people that we're trying to help with all of these programs. The government needs to stay out of this and let buyers, sellers, and banks do their thing.
So you want the pain. You want an immediate furthering of the pain. The homeowners take some pain, the banks take some pain, but we wash this out, prices come down more sharply, and we reach a bottom. That's what you want.
That's what I want. I just want prices, supply and demand, to be back at a market equilibrium so that prices can continue to modestly increase over time, which will then bring back a normal market. Absolutely.
But look, this is an election year. You can't ignore politics in an election year. We're probably going to get something from the government, but you don't think that will contribute at all to forming a bottom for housing?
No, the only thing it's going to contribute to is adding costs that are going to be passed off to homeowners and home buyers and home sellers anyway. And it's also going to make the politicians look pretty foolish in the eyes of economists and analysts that they're creating packages that really aren't helping anybody and are costing everybody. And also, in addition to all this, Stuart, people seem to be forgetting about the 95% plus of homeowners that are actually paying on time and are going to be paying through additional costs because of packages like this.
It's a fair point, Dani Babb, but I suggest you never ever stand for public office because they'll demagogue you to death.
Dani, my husband keeps saying the same thing.
I'll bet you do.
Thanks.
Dani, thank you so much. Appreciate it.